Beats Planet.
Yo, we are back at it again. Appreciate everybody for tuning into the volume. I see Darren Dunn in the chat box says it's the first time leaving Voch channel and coming over to the volume. Feel like I'm doing something wrong. No. You've done the right thing. We want everybody to do that. We'll be going live on both channels for like 4-5 more days, but in May these streams will be exclusively on the volume. So welcome to Voch Lombardi live on the Voch Lombardi channel and on the volume. Appreciate y'all. Get real comfortable. We're gonna do it. Ain't gonna be a long stream, but it ain't gonna be like we're trying to get out in an hour or something like that, because I want to fit some things in today. Quick housekeeping, right? Just listen. Escuchen, por favor. We're going live today. We're here today right now. We're not going live tomorrow because you get a Saturday episode, because we will be reacting to the draft. So this is the last 3 p.m. Central show that we're doing this week, right? We're skipping tomorrow. There will be some content that we'll be putting up, but we won't be live tomorrow. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll be going live for the draft. So whenever the draft starts or something like that, just be sure you tune into that. I'm Voch Lombardi, y'all.
You are watching a master at work.
You already know we holding it down for the Doski Woski. Thank y'all for being here. And I'm here. Big Willie. My man's Will Steele. What's good with you, sir?
Hey, listen. I gotta get Clue Ball. That was dope. I like that one. He winning this war right now.
Let me tell you something, man. I dare you to find a Jay-Z song with Voch in it somewhere. I dare you. But hey, man, if the double production is something we got to do to make the show shake, Will Boogie, man. I love the Big Willie drop, man.
I love that.
I love it.
Got
so
more
this
states than Philly. All right, go ahead.
Come on.
Listen, come on, man. Listen. Come on.
We ain't got to do all that today, man.
We ain't gonna do it.
maybe at the end of the show.
Gotcha.
But this is what we have for y'all today. There was some Cowboy, chum in the water that I may want to potentially address. Me and Will still will probably touch on that, but we have the mock draft version 1 only that will be dropping. So of course I would love for you guys to react. We would love your interaction. We'll be keeping eyes on the chat box. We got phones lit 202-926-1127, access code 309104. Get your spot in line. It's been on social media, so I'm sure some of y'all have seen it, some of y'all want to react to it. I'm not going to break down every pick because who cares? It's a mock draft. But I will be just giving some of my general thoughts about why some players are in some places and, just kind of addressing some of y'all's thoughts. But another thing that I discovered over the weekend, not even discovered, but it just kind of happened. But Bruce Feldman with The Athletic dropped a banger. A banger of an article, man. And I want y'all to go over to The Athletic, check it out in full. I got about 10 or so notes that I pulled from it just for discussion, just things that I thought were interesting. He talked to, different coaches, different, scouts and things of that nature, just to kind of get an inside view on what he thinks about some of these players. So I pulled about 10 notes from that. It's about 30 or 40 notes on the actual Athletic article. Shouts out to Coach Evans. He actually sent it to me. So y'all go check that out, and me and Will still go back and forth on it or whatever. So let's get into this. Let's just talk about this article. Will, still, you can kind of put your face up on the screen for this because I kind of want your reaction. I kind of want to go back and forth with you a little bit on some of these players. Not all these players are like Cowboy targets, but this is a all 32 production. So if you're a team that's looking, for some of these players, you can kind of take something from this. But I just thought it was some banging information in this. So let's just get going. Let's just cut this. Will, still, did you read it?
I didn't read the whole thing. There's a lot in there. I talked about some of it today, yesterday on the show. The George Pickens thing. I thought was extremely interesting.
Definitely touching on that, and the whole George. We could fast forward to that. The George Pickens thing is super interesting, especially for Cowboy fans, because we coming off the back of this Boss Man Fat thing, right?
Yeah.
So if me and you having this conversation just a couple of days ago, Will still is sick of the problem player, but we love George Pickens, and we talk about, okay, well, if he's a problem player, he falls. Maybe he's a second round guy. Boss Man Fat, in my opinion, was a first round talent, in my personal opinion, but he ended up in the second for various reasons or whatnot, right? So Will, just based on some of the things that you read, and I'm about to pull it up in a second, what were your general did your thoughts change when it comes to problem players and George Pickens in the second round possibly?
He pretty much the same with the problem players. I need to do homework. Sure. So today I said, okay, this is what people are saying, but I need to dive in. So I got some of the fans in the chat to say, hey man, report back to me what you're hearing. Send me to the right direction, because every situation is not the same, right? Boss Man situation is not the same as George Pickens situation. So I got Professor O, who is big time, Georgia fan, to kind of report back to me, give me some details on George Pickens. And from what it sounds like, it reminds me of Micah, bro, where people were harping on 19, 20-year-old Micah Parsons, 19, 20-year-old George Pickens. But it sounds like this version of George Pickens has matured, like you usually do when you're a teenager going into adulthood, and there really isn't, that many issues in regards to character concerns.
Sure.
Kid loves football, from everything I hear, wants to be the best. Maybe he has a bit of an attitude about it. Maybe he's a bit mouthy. Maybe he has a bit of an edge to him. But Voch, that's the type of shit I like. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is, football is secondary. I want to win a Grammy. I'm trying to get on a feature with Drake, or I want to do this music video. I want to go hang out. That's different than this situation. So I'm cool with George Pickens if it's just about him being mouthy and having an attitude problem. That ain't shit.
All right, now Will said it might be too much talking. It might be too much content for you to be doing. But
hold on. Where's my problematic button? God damn it. Oh, he's stupid. Yo.
That's an inside joke, y'all. That's an inside joke. One day in 10 years, we'll explain. But he asked a scout about, he says, which wide receiver is the most boom or bust guy? And the scout says, George Pickens. There's a lot of upside, but he can't get out of his own way. He's been enabled his whole life. And I go, enable. So do you get a work hard guy? Is he coachable? Things of that nature. Just just like Will said, sometimes you just got to do your own. And Matt Owen knows everything. Shouts out to Professor O.
He
knows
big time
all,
Georgia guy, man.
He knows all things. He asked a wide receiver coach who's the most boom or bust guy, and once again he said Pickens. You love his game. There's some issues, but do you want to work with him? Right? He's a top 6 talent. But it's impossible not to add those other things. He has the size, really good range. He positions himself on deep balls. He beats press coverage. And that sounds like a killer to me. That he has size, and he has an Allen Iverson crossover. And the system kind of translates to the NFL, but I wouldn't touch him. I wouldn't touch him is wild.
Wild.
You know what I mean? That ain't like, I wouldn't touch him till the second. That ain't like, he might be a problem. I wouldn't touch him to the third. This is an actual, coach saying I wouldn't touch him. I think that's interesting. Now, like we've been saying, the boss man and Pickens thing, they're different things.
Different.
They're totally different things. But I would love for the league to panic over this. I would love for coaches and scouts to just be like, hey man, I don't know about this Pickens kid. Good. I'll take him off your hands, player. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Since we're on, let's talk quarterback for a second, right? We ain't looking at quarterback necessarily, but anybody could be watching. Quarterback coach number 2 says our highest graded quarterback this year is Sam Howell. And Sam Howell was my second quarterback he's my third quarterback behind Corral and Willis at number 1. He says, I have a second round grade on him. We got a third round grade on Pickett. And if you look at Pickett's 2020 film, it'll be a 6-7 round grade. That's kind of what I was saying. And I really have no clue where this new hype for George Pickett has come from. Will still don't really understand it either. But I watched his 2020, his current film, his 2021 film. I'm like, okay, cool. I see what you're saying, but we've been watching Pickett for a while. And you could say the same thing about Sam Howell, really, but when Sam Howell had, like De'Ami Brown was on the team, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter at running back, like when he had like talent, that North Carolina team was something to look at, but those guys left. And then Howell, of course, took the Dak Prescott drop, is what I call it. When you lose some pros here and there, and you just kind of go bad, but you still good enough to uplift your team. Kenny Pickett, to be fair, doesn't have many of those guys on his team neither. But I thought that was interesting that they that they wasn't rocking with it like that. He asked two coaches about Ikem Ekwonu, my number 1 lineman, and one coach was like, he's a generational guy, day 1 impact starter. He is by far the best lineman. Then he asked somebody else, and he said the coaches will love him, but the personnel people and the scouts might hate him because he's knock-kneed. What?
Excuse me, sir?
I beg your pardon, sir. Look, now, Will, I'm a little silly. I even went back to go look. I was like, oh, I can't miss a little knock-knee. But he's knock-knee smoking the shit out of people. He's knock-knee working to second level whooping linebackers. He's knock-knee getting to safeties and corners on screens. He's knock-knee whooping Jermaine Johnson. So I go ahead.
Roselle Adams was deaf in one ear, and he was a Pro Bowl tackle, so I'm cool with knock-knees.
Sure, yeah, we don't have a problem with knock-knee people. Kenny Pickett in the small hands. We ain't got to touch on Kenny Pickett in the small hands. We've already abused Kenny Pickett enough. So when he asked a wide receiver coach who was the best wide receiver in the class, and let me just tap Will on the shoulder. He said Jameson Williams. So now Will, still, I would love for you to. There you go. Do you think Jameson? We like to talk about who makes it to 24 or whatever, right? And like I said, this could be for all teams, because if you're a team that'll take him prior to Dallas, you can apply this too. You don't think he makes it to 24, huh?
I've learned since CD Lamb to not put things in pen, right? But I don't think he'll make it to 24, no.
Coach said Jameson Williams. To me, it's not close. There's a big drop after him. He's blazing fast, and you can't replicate top-end speed, and his play speed is different. Like Tyreek Hill different. He's running away from SEC guys. His explosiveness after the catch is rare. We've been saying all that. His quickness at the line of scrimmage is just different. He's a hands catcher, not a body catcher. I think he's a good catcher, not a great catcher. So now you got to ask yourself, man, like if he does fall,
I mean,
let's let's just kind of just play this game. Will still Jameson Williams or Jordan Davis.
God dang.
Jeez.
I'm gonna be real with you. They're gonna be fighting in that war room. I don't have an answer, bro.
Yeah. Jameson Williams, Kenyon Green.
Jameson Williams.
Damn. I don't know. Jameson Williams is my number 2 receiver behind Garrett Wilson. I don't hate anybody that has Jameson Williams as their number 1 guy. I'm just partial to route runners. And Jameson's a route runner too, but Garrett Wilson is also a route runner.
Does it change your mind that the way wide receivers are getting paid, that you could get one in the first round and have them for 5 years? Does that change your mind? That kind of seems to be a topic coming up. Over a guy like Green. Davis to me is rough because I just think Davis is the type of guy that you need, the Cowboys need in the playoffs. They've lost 2 playoff games now, giving up over 400 yards rushing. So
I don't think we should be looking that far ahead. I think once
fair.
contracts come around, you just kind of take care of that as they come to you. But I think your first priority is to get 5 good years out of a first round pick, regardless of who that player is. Now, if you get Kenyon Green and he turns out to be one of them dudes that you can't let go, it doesn't matter. At that point, you just sign that dude. If Jameson Williams is the true game breaker, like if he really takes the offense over the edge, it doesn't matter how much he costs in the long run. You know what I mean? Like, just
I agree.
We just got to pay him like a number 1 guy.
They asked Stephen Jones about 5th-year option, and he started talking about using it with negotiations. So I just figured I'd bring it up. Yeah.
Well, we have tools to help us. We got the franchise tag. That's good to go. And
at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, we have to look into the future. We have to look into 2035 to see if all this will fit. And if it fits, then we'll be happy to have Jameson, but we have to meet at both sides. This is what I thought was super interesting, right? When he was asked about more so Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, can you imagine Ohio State's offense if Jameson didn't leave? To have Jameson, Olave, and Wilson, that's crazy. I had to pull it up and I lost it. He said Wilson. He says Wilson was not good in the interview. Garrett Wilson was not a good interview guy. I thought that was interesting. Olave was awesome, but his tape isn't as good as Wilson's. I think there's consensus that everybody feels like Garrett Wilson is the better wide receiver over Olave. But you hear from a quarterback coach here. We got a wide receiver coach that was asked the same thing. I think there's a bit of an edge to Olave, just a little chip on the shoulder because people are saying that Garrett is better. That's true. But people are also saying that there's this other wide receiver at Ohio State, Jackson Smith-Njigba, is better than both of them. So this wide receiver coach feels like that Chris Olave would, play with a bit of an edge. Well, still, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you this for Burks, for Traylon Burks and for Chris Olave. Do you think that they kind of, have taken not a fall in like draft stock or whatever, but do you think that the draft hype, especially in Cowboy land, has kind of calmed down on both those a little bit?
No. Maybe Olave, but I feel like Burks is still getting that love around Cowboys Nation. Maybe it's the Arkansas tie, which really there's nothing to that. They only took like 1 or 2 guys from Arkansas under Jerry. But I think also Dane Brugler is helping with that. Dane Brugler came out and said, they straight up asked him, what do you think Dallas is going to do at 24? He said Traylon Burks or a guard. So, I don't really see the hype dying down on those guys, but I do see it dying down around the rest of the league as opposed to Cowboys Nation.
Sure. I feel like when we were first watching Traylon Burks, we were talking about, okay, if Traylon Burks makes it. Now I think we're more so having a conversation that, okay, Traylon Burks makes it, but it's him versus who? And then I feel like in the combine when, Chris Olave like ran his 40 or whatever, I feel like Olave could possibly hype himself into being a top 10 kind of guy, right? But now we're back talking about him in Dallas or possibly falling past Dallas, just being taken in the 20 somewhere. I think that was interesting. One
more thing on Olave. Is it okay to say that he would be a fine number 2? I don't know that his ceiling is a wide receiver 1. So whoever takes him in round 1, I think is taking a guy they're okay with being a Robin as opposed to a Batman.
I think Olave is 100% a complimentary guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can be like I remember one year the Texans, Deshaun Watson, right? Will Fuller had like 12 catches and 14 touchdowns.
21 yards per catch.
Some wild shit like that. He wasn't the number one guy, clearly, but if Nuke is taking up the attention and Will is the one-on-one guy, and you just keep running past people and you just get the most touchdowns on the team, then fine. You just get the most touchdowns on the team. You know what I mean? So that's just that. I thought this was interesting, right? For one of the Cowboys 30 visits, right? Charles Cross. And we were having this conversation on the show, and we were saying, okay, if Charles Cross falls, would he be a trade-up target? And we talked about how of the three, the big three at tackle, whether it be Neil, Ikeem, and Charles, if one would fall, we always see Charles fall. We don't see Ikeem and Evan fall. We always see Charles. Bruce Feldman asked an offensive line coach, he says, we didn't really like him. We saw him much more of a project. The system hurts him, and that matters. We didn't love his interview. He has the tools, but he's not thick and powerful. We don't think he's a day one guy. Now, that's an NFL coach and an NFL team. And mind you, he said we. So it's not just the coach thinking this. It's like him, the offensive staff, like whoever he's in there with. Some coach on some team, some organization looks at Charles Cross and thinks he's a project guy and not a day one guy. Will, do you think that there's more to this? Charles Cross can possibly fall out of the top 10 talk?
Oh, I'm sure he could fall out the top 10, but I think this is one of those smoke things. I don't think you're going to see Cross fall beyond the top half of the draft, right? 15, 17 range. I don't see that. I don't see him falling past that, man. Tackles are premium in this league, and it is clear as day. Cross, Neal, and Aquanu are the top three tackles in this league, brother. I'm not taking a Penning or Raymond over any of those dudes. So maybe that's just smoke. Maybe that's just one team.
Shouts out to Coach Evans over at Sip to Tally. He put something in my ear, and it's just been ringing since he told it to me. He said that if Charles Cross makes it to Baltimore, that he wouldn't make it like past that. And that makes sense. That makes sense, we don't always look at Baltimore as like an offensive line needy team or a tackle needy team. But hey, you take a look at it. You take a look at Charles. If Charles falls, hey, that may be a thing for them.
Your boy Votto said they just called Cross a project chick.
Dump. Da, 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 da. This we're on the volume, sir. We're not. This is more so for the people in my chat box, right? I was doing my top 50 board, and wide receiver David Bell from Purdue wasn't on it. And some of the little jabronis over on the volume Instagram was like, Voch, you're an idiot for not having David Bell in your top 50. Okay. Bruce Feldman asked a wide receiver coach in the National Football League, who's much more credible than Voch Lombardi. He says, I think he's gonna struggle. He can't run away from anybody. He's heavy-legged. He'll get pressed. People bring up Anquan Bolden. Also didn't run a good 40 time, but Anquan Bolden played fast. You saw the explosion out of his break. Bell has no second gear, no suddenness to him. It's all the same speed. What you got to say about that? What you got to say about that? What you got to say about that? Will, still something I'm learning, bro. As we're slowly getting integrated into volume culture, what I find interesting on these social media posts, whether it be shots out of Voch Lombardi and the volume on Twitter and Instagram, what I notice is that you have the Voch Lombardi crowd that's super familiar with my nonsense, right? Because my nonsense is I don't care what the national media think. If I don't think Travon Walker is the number one overall pick, I'm not going to say it. But some people will do it just because national media says so. And you'll get the Voch Lombardi crowd in there on one side going, hey, Voch has done this before. He be having points. Hey, I got you. Whatever. Hey, Voch don't. Whatever. And then you got the volume side that's not familiar with my anti-draft Illuminati takes.
Yeah. And
they'll be like, but Travon Walker in Vegas says he's the number one overall pick. I'm talking about my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what I watch on film. And I just think it's interesting that when they drop them, it's always the volume people first telling me I don't know shit, but then the Voch crowd coming in later like, I don't know, you might want to go listen to what he say.
Always use the term via Twitter, or if those type of people come in to my chat, are you new here? Because they'll hear me get on something, whether it be Steven or whether it be, and I'm like, and they're like, well, let's talk about. I'm like, sir, I talk about everything here. Are you upset because you just popped in, you don't know who I am, and I'm saying something you don't like? But trust and believe me, keep following me. You'll notice how things are. So I just think that those people are new. They don't know what you do.
Hey, welcome though. Love y'all to pieces. Yeah. Welcome. Another Cowboy target. He asked two offensive line coaches about Northern Iowa's Trevor Penning. One coach says we like his physicality. He's nasty, has good feet. He's probably a backup year one. I was like, what? I'm like, how is he like he's physical, nasty, and good feet, but he a backup? Sir. Sure, he has physicality, he has nastiness, but I don't see his good feet. I do agree that he might be a backup year one. That's fair also. Then another coach says on Trevor Penning, you don't know how he's going to translate against better competition. Fair. Senior Bowl was a big display of that. He has obvious physical talent. He was being a prick at the Senior Bowl. Some people are into that and some don't like it.
He was, bro.
He was just kind of falling on people and pushing people around and slinging
At the very end, like
for no reason. Yeah, you got smoked. He asked that same offensive line coach about Bernard Ryman from Central Michigan. He says, we liked him, had a good interview. We graded him as a backup offensive tackle. He's a good fluid athlete, but he needs to get stronger. He's more of a finesse blocker than a thumper. We all agree here, right?
I agree with that, yeah.
And look, mind you, Chad, this ain't Voch just patting Voch on the shoulder, pulling all the clips that I agree with. You know what I mean? This ain't that. I just thought this was interesting to say. People ask me on social media all the time. They say, Voch, what pick could Dallas pick that'll make you mad? And it's always the same three offensive linemen for me. Yeah. If it's Trevor Penning, if it's Bernard Raymond, and if it's Tyler Smith. Those are the three wrong offensive linemen to take there. If they take Zion, I wouldn't be super happy, but I get it. But them three, if we take them three, I'm going to be visibly upset. My face, my tone, everything. I'm going to get through the show because I'm a professional because the volume's listening. But I'm just going to be physically just
they
upset.
Were two of my top three guys that I would be absolutely shocked if the Cowboys took, the other one being Logan Hall.
That's a thing?
Yeah. That's Logan Hall is rising up draft boards. They talk first round, and Cowboys are interested, and he would be a Taco Charlton pick. Not saying he's Taco. I'm just saying it's unnecessary.
The guys that'll be on the board versus him. If y'all want to see Voch upset, take fucking Bernard Raymond over Logan Hall. Take Trevor Penning over. That's a lie. I don't know. Whatever. Moving on. He asked the O-line coach about LSU's Ed Ingram. We loved him. I heard he's dropping on some teams' draft boards because of his football IQ, but he's very explosive and he can move guys off the ball in an ISO block, which is really hard to do. We love physicality. You want the thumper guy. You want the super physical dude. Ed Ingram's your guy, which is really hard to do. He kills guys on pulls. Physically, he's one of the best guards out there. There'll be a learning curve, but someone will take a chance and invest in him. Once he gets it, he can be a good starter. Him being around some pros will help him out a lot. Pros like Zach Martin, you know what I'm saying? Tyron Smith would be a good little pro to have him around, you know what I'm saying? We don't have Lael and Travis anymore, but we got pros in our offensive line, man. And look, this is what I'm saying too. If you miss out on Kenyon Green, but you end up taking receiver first, you immediately look to Ed Ingram, Jamari Salyer, Darian Kennard from Kentucky. Yeah. You immediately look at those guys if you go wide receiver first because you got to get guard somewhere. But I don't want people to fret because if you don't get guard in round one, there are guard options for you later on.
I'm glad you said it.
Sure. I would love for people to look at, for teams in the league, the other 31, to look at Ed Ingram and be like, I don't see it. He's not smart enough. Get him out of here. Hey, do your thing, player. Let him fall to 56. We can have a celebration up here. Let's see. I don't want to do too many more. I want y'all to go read it and read it yourself. And but I got one more. I wanted to find the one on Travon Walker. I wanted to find the one on Travon Walker because I thought this one right here was super interesting. This is gonna be the last one. Then we're gonna get into the mock draft. He asked about Travon Walker and possibly being the first overall pick, whatever. As a possible first or second overall pick, I don't love him that high. For sure, he's a top 10 guy. He's big, strong, and long, but I don't see a rare talent. He could be 290 easily. He put up ridiculous numbers at the combine, but none of that stuff really translated on tape, which is why I got him mocked in the 20 somewhere. Even during their pro day, this is most interesting, Will Steele. Check this out. Even during the pro day, he was the third most athletic D-line behind Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt. And he didn't look as freaky as those dudes. I thought that was interesting. Got a comment on that, Will, still about the about Vegas's #1 overall pick, Travon Walker?
No, I'm still shocked that he just shot up the board that high. I like other two guys better, honest with you. But maybe because I'm looking at it from a Cowboys landscape, where defensive tackle, I just want that more than I want an edge guy. Travon Walker is super, as you call it, ceiling guy.
Sure. And it's just so interesting, man, that you know, I can say like it's like the masses just come and go with whatever the waves are. But my whole thing is like, bro, the film didn't change. The film is the same. And I always take combines with a grain of salt because guys train for those things.
Yep.
I made this video and I was like, I was looking at Jordan Davis and I don't think Jordan Davis is a 4.9 40 guy. And in my mind, just watching this film, he wasn't a 4.9 40 guy in my mind. But if he trains, he loses 20 pounds for the combine, he gets in shape, he works on his start, he works on his form, you can pull a 4.7 out of a 40. So that led me to my next thought that, some guys, some of the national media, they'll be like, well, are guys getting faster? I don't think guys are getting faster. I think they just run 40s better. You see what I'm saying? Like just modern medicine and just getting technique down and just working technique is just a little different than it used to be, man. Like Derek Stingley wasn't in, no like playoff game or nothing like that or whatever. He wasn't around doing late season stuff. He was just working on his 40. Ever since the season was over, he was just working on his start, working on his follow through. He did nothing else but work on that. So of course he's going to run a good 40 at his pro day. I mean, he was rehabbing and stuff like that, but it's still working on technique. So I'd imagine Jordan Davis probably was like a 5 flat 4.9 guy that ended up turning that into a 4.7 because he worked on it. So I don't know. I just wanted to bring that to y'all attention, man. That's Bruce Feldman's article on The Athletic. I had one more that was on the Kobe Dean, but we ain't got to get into because I love me some to Kobe Dean. Y'all be bugging. But we can do this mock draft. Now, give me 2 seconds. Let me just touch on these calls for a second. Then
I
we're
was
gonna
about to say, yeah. See who won.
Yeah, and we'll let you figure that out on that side over there. Let's start off with Damon. See what he's talking about. Damon, what up?
What's poppin'?
Coolin', my guy. What you got for the show?
Hey, man, so what I was thinking, can y'all hear me?
Uh-huh.
All right, so what I was thinking, right, was when y'all were talking about, like, would they, say like a Jordan Davis and, a wide receiver is on the board at the same time, and who would they pick?
Sure.
Honestly, man, I think this comes down to who does Stephen Jones want to end up, negotiating with at the end of this contract. And in my mind, I think if, all things being considered, he would probably end up going with like a defensive tackle or something like that because leverage and things that you have to end up paying those guys after that 5th year is completely different when you're talking about defensive tackle versus wide receiver.
Sure.
Because we know Stephen Jones is trying to hold on to every single penny, and I bet you he feels like he can get a value wide receiver later in the draft.
My only pushback on that is if that's the case, you definitely don't want to pay Michael Parsons because he could tax you for being 2 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't really feed into that. I think if you just get the best player, you just do what you got to do. I think Stephen Jones know that he got to pay certain people. You know what I mean? I just think that he's gonna try his best to haggle and barter and try to get discounts, the best he can and lowball and try to get it as cheap as he could possibly get it. But I don't think he's going to not draft a defensive end because defensive ends get paid more or wide receivers get paid more because we're like an offensive line team. And I'm sure that we're going to be looking at tackle at some point. Tackles make big money too. So,
well, they do. But I think my point that I was getting at was when we talk about specialty or skill position players, a lot of times they're not trying to play out the whole contract before they want a new one. And you start looking at, defensive tackles and things like that, you can often string them out and be like, okay, we'll talk about it towards the end of your deal. But I don't know many wide receivers that are taken in the first round that are playing out their full contract. Do you?
What
because
receivers?
As far as I know, after year 3, if they put up a couple good years, they want more money right now. And that's not really Stevens' bag.
I know that's happened with quarterback for sure, but what receivers recently have not done the whole 5th-year option thing and they just get paid immediately? Because watch this. What happens is they don't throw those contracts out and they just immediately start making money.
Not many.
It's
much.
right. It's more so like you still got your rookie contract. We just adding like these extra years on to it. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like it gets to that point where it's like they're not going to let you get to that 5th year because they know either one of 2 things is going to happen. They're going to jet out or they're going to get overpaid. But either way, they're going to end up with those skill positions having to pay out like we end up having to do with Zeke, and like we gave that contract to Amari Cooper where we front loaded.
So basically, your fear is that they're going to hold out after the third year. That's basically what you're saying.
My fear is that Stephen Jones. My fear is Stephen Jones.
I tell you what,
but you said the wide receiver. You said the wide receiver is going to want to ask for more money.
Right. I was just saying, all things considered, when you're talking about skill positions, generally by the time that they hit year 3, year 4, they're looking to restructure or they're looking to get, a new contract. And I know that by that time, Jerry ain't going to live forever. And I know by that time, Steven is going to be firmly in control of the purse strings. And I just know that Steven's track record has not been one where he wants to outwardly pay these skill position guys, because it's been Jerry for the most part getting these contracts over the top. And it's been Steven who's been coming, people coming out in the media saying Steven is the one that's lowballing everybody.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't, but then also, man, you just gotta like think about this too, man. Like if that receiver is good enough to demand that, then we're going to Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like we just gonna turn a backflip and celebrate for that receiver being good enough. We'll just move on with our life.
Either way, I'm cool with it. I just think that that's an interesting angle. Sometimes I think that the longer that we get into Jerry's life, the more that Steven is going to have control over the cap, things like that. But I think it'd be interesting to see which way we were going when position players and things like that. It's more so a down the road type of question.
Yeah, I got you. Appreciate you, Damon. Good call. Yes, sir.
Tell you what, if Davis snap out, he gonna want to get paid too. So
hey, that's what I'm saying. If Jordan Davis show up and Micah Parsons don't get touched, hey, man, it's value too. Shit, goddamn it.
Also, to be fair, you said Jameson Williams, the wide receiver one, not just any wide receiver.
Yeah, for sure. Man. If he's that good, right. If he comes out and give you 3 Jamar Chase seasons and said, "Pay me now," just pay him out.
Pay
him out. If he give you 3 Jamar Chase rookie seasons and he does that, just what you gotta do? Should I lock the phones now? Take these 2 calls and then do mock stuff?
The conference has been locked.
It's gonna time perfectly. We're gonna do mocks after these next 2 calls here. Daryl, what up?
What up, homie?
Coolin', man. What you got? Hey, yo, listen. I know what I said about Traylon Burks earlier, man. I was just playing, dog. Come on, man.
I know you was, dog. That's why. But I still love you. You and Sky are family to me, so it don't matter. I had some questions and some thoughts. I wanted to see what you was thinking.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Have you watched Marquise Hayes?
Yep. Guard from Oklahoma.
Okay. What do you think of him? Because Boss was telling me yesterday that because he watched a lot of film on him, and he hitting people, blocking people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, second level type stuff,
Sure.
Like he just demolishing dudes. So I was trying to see what you think on that.
Yeah, all right. Marquise Hayes, all right. He cool. I think I know the play that he's talking about, but it ain't like that play like always happening, because if that was the case, we'll be higher on Marquise Hayes. He's a cool player. I think
what round do you think he is? Because I think Boss was saying like maybe second,
3,
maybe third round,
3, 4, possibly to me, sure, something like that.
Okay, all right. Well, that's why I value everybody's opinion. Y'all guys watch film. I don't watch as much as y'all do, but still, you know what I mean? I like to get the insight and get the knowledge. So
who you like at guard?
Then he mentioned
who you like at guard?
Another guy from OSU linebacker, Rodriguez, Malcolm.
What happened? Who was that?
OSU, Malcolm Rodriguez.
You say Malcolm?
It's your boy.
You say Malcolm who from Ohio State?
Rodriguez. OSU.
Yeah. Oh, Oklahoma. Okay, that's what you. Oklahoma from Oklahoma. Okay, he cool.
OSU.
Oh yeah, cool guy. Run around a little bit, hit a little bit. Yeah, he's a fun player too. I don't think he's a.
He was telling me he'd be a good linebacker for us to draft, and maybe like
develop
second, third, maybe fourth, maybe fourth,
4 or 5, 4 or 5.
So,
yeah, for me, 4 or 5.
I was trying to get an idea, like if we don't get.
Who's your favorite linebacker, Shep?
my favorite linebacker is N'Kobe Dean or
Right.
or
Right.
Devin Lloyd or
Right.
Chad Muma or Tyndale
Right.
or Quay Walker.
Quay Walker, yes, sir.
Or I mean, I've watched them guys, so I know what's up on the on the really real.
Of course,
but,
you know.
I'm going to the draft in person, so I'm gonna be wearing that Michael Parsons jersey. I got my hair dyed blue and got a fresh cut.
You going to
I'll be
Vegas?
wearing that Cowboys
I'll let you
draft
talk.
hat. I might get to do a pick too, so I might get to call one. So I'm like, I'm looking at all these different players that we might draft, and
Right.
I wanted to had another question.
Go ahead.
Cowboys Network draft show had they did their mock draft,
Okay.
and they picked Kenyon Green first,
Right.
but then they went Christian Watson, and then they went I think Sam Williams in the
Sam
third.
Williams, okay.
And then the fourth round,
I don't like Sam Williams.
they got Otten,
Who?
the tight end.
Kate Otten.
Otten.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then they picked up in the fifth round
Right.
Brian Price.
What about
Have
the
you
sixth
seen
round?
film on him?
What about the sixth round?
You think he's a sixth round?
I was asking you what, like, yeah, okay, cool. Who you said? Brian Price? Yeah, they cool. He cool too. Yeah,
Brian Price.
Yeah, he about to.
Because they said he'd be like
okay,
a
I'll
good
let you go.
backup
I'll
to
let you
Zeke
go.
or whatever.
Yeah.
If they don't re-sign like Tony Pollard, which I think they should, they better.
I do think we need. I do think we need to look at running back at some point because Zeke and Tony going to be walking out the door at the same time. So I do think we need to put that in motion somehow. But I think it's too early.
I
Okay,
do too.
I'll
I
let
do
you.
too. I agree.
Go ahead. Yep. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I feel you, Shaq. Hey,
but,
okay, I'll let you keep going. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead. You had a question.
Nah.
Or you want to say something? So.
No. I was just go. I was just gonna say, hey man, look, have fun at the draft or whatever, man. I really hope you look, Shaq. Let me tell you something. I'm not just bullshitting because I'm the host. I really hope you get to announce the pick, sir. Shaq. Nothing.
If I do, even if I don't,
go ahead.
I'm gonna put you like this. Like I told Boss Cowboy and I told Law Nation today because I was on the show and I called in like I called in on you.
Sure.
I told them, you know what? It don't matter because I'm gonna be bringing that freaking Blue Star Cowboys passion swag to it all, and they gonna hear me all the way from Las Vegas to California to Louisiana to Texas to Bossier
Mississippi
to Ohio. To all over the United States because I'm going to bring it. And I'm going to be putting videos out on Twitter just so you guys can see what a real Cowboys fan is all about. Because I'm going to be getting rowdy, and bringing that swinging them elbows.
Right.
Cuz.
All right.
You can bet that.
All right, cuz. We're going to get you up out of here, famo. Appreciate it, Chef.
Love you, boss. Love you, Sky. Have a blessed day.
I'm vibed.
And I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the show.
I'm vibed. Appreciate you.
My guy.
He's an eye boss, eyes guy. I don't know what to say either, bro. I don't know. Yo, Will, I really hope he get to announce the pick because they're gonna have to drag him they're gonna have to snatch him off the podium. Sir.
I pray. I really do. I really do. That's D shot.
The wrap it up box is nothing. They gonna have to go get security to come get him up off the stage.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. He said for all the people in Mississippi and Texas and Wyoming.
He gonna shout out the whole YouTube.
Look, time out. He named 3 states and a county in Louisiana. Yo, Shap, we love you, Shap.
Shap and
G. Everything. Shap, don't stop calling us. We love you, brother.
Shit, I dyed my hair blue, cuh. Talking about Crip walking up here, cuh.
Neighborhood.
You probably listen to the marathon. You know what I'm saying?
Oh. Hey, yo, Unc, what up, man?
What's up, Cowboy Nation? What's up, Voch? What's up, Skywalker? Here I am again, live time and prime time. What's happening, y'all?
Man, we just blessed on. We just having a good show. After this, we gonna talk about this mock draft and wrap up, all that good stuff. You know how we do.
And this is how you wrap it up. Let me just say this.
Please.
Voch, I want to say this, and this is just a small service announcement. I want Skywalker to hear this too. I am tired of people jumping off buildings and expecting to be alive when they hit the ground. I think we need more counseling. Let me get to the draft. Let me say this. Who do you think is the number 1 running back coming out of the draft? And on top of that, do we really have that much faith in Jordan Davis? Because I seen him get wore out in the SEC championship.
Time out. Time on. We just can't walk past this because I'm not as smart as you give me credit for. On was there a hidden message in that last one? You want people to stop jumping off buildings and expect not to be dead when they hit the ground. Like, is there a hidden message in that?
It is a hidden message. And the hidden message is when you jump, you ain't gonna know a damn thing anyway. But if everybody else will. Let me just say this. I'm gonna say this, man. Getting back to my question.
Go ahead.
Why are we so confident with Jordan Davis after I see him get wore out in the SEC championship?
I don't think he got wore out too bad. I think they tried to do a lot to contain him. I think they tried to throw everybody that they could. So I don't think he necessarily got wore out. But what I think Jordan Davis can bring to the Cowboys, and I speak for Will Still also, is that he can unlock everybody else on your defense. So we look at Dean and Walker and Channing Tindall and those guys. We look at how effective they were. If you could build a D line that's similar to that, and pair Jordan Davis with a year two Oso Digizua, I think he's one of those players, especially rookies, that can be like a day one impact for you. And of course, year three Jordan Davis is going to be way better than year one Jordan Davis. But just off the rip, in terms of high floor, we think Jordan Davis can come in right now and make everybody else elevate just a couple ticks.
Right. So I got my answer on that, and now we're sliding down the Soul Train line, and we all doing our dance.
Right.
I just want to have a decent draft. I'm not asking for Christmas toys up on the tree, but if you're telling me Santa Claus is gonna show up, I'm gonna tell you you're a damn lie. Right. Let me just say this. I want to say this, and I'm gonna say this in closing. I always give a service announcement, and I'm gonna give a service announcement to the Cowboy Nation. Sure. A lot of people want to do a lot of things in their life. They want to become football players. They want to become basketball players. But who really wants to become a stuntman? Steve did. Steve was a stuntman for 20 years. And Steve said, I'm going to do one last stunt, honey. And she said, babe, we got all the money in the world. We don't need for you to do this. And I just don't agree with it. But I have to do it for me, babe. And he jumped off the coast of Florida off the beach, and he wanted to dive into the water and swim out in the middle of the ocean and reach the bar up and hold the flag up. And Steve dived out there, had his crew out there filming and everything. He dived in the water, and everybody, go, Steve, go. Go, Steve, go. And he got to that barge, and he raised that flag up. Everybody was happy. And Steve started to swim back. Before Steve got halfway and stepped his foot up on the beach, a man-eating shark came out of nowhere and chewed his leg off. Everybody was in shock. It wasn't one person clapping. And all of a sudden, they rushed Steve to the hospital. And for the next 6 months, 7 months, he was in rehab. And then when his wife brought him home, she said, all you got to do, love, is to ring that bell when you got to do a number 1 or a number 2. And Steve, for 9 times, he rung that bell. And the 10th time, his wife was tired. And all of a sudden, she come in the morning, she said, I got to go downstairs and take care of the kids. Hey, ring the bell when you need to do a number 1, number 2. Well, she really didn't mean that. She mean that she was damn tired. And all of a sudden, he rung the bell. And what did he do? A number 2. She said, oh, Steve, not again. I'll be right back. And she went downstairs, and all of a sudden you didn't hear anything. And next thing you know, she was in the car with the kids, pulling out the driveway. And Steve was in the window with a dry tear coming down his face. Now, Steve, she told your ass what to do. But now she's tired, and she done left a number 2 on you. And that's all I got to say, man. I appreciate that, man. Man, I love y'all, and I always will, and y'all doing a great job. Appreciate you, bro.
Uncle Charlie, appreciate you. Appreciate you, Uncle Charlie. Sir.
I could tell we still got new volume people up in here that are being introduced to Uncle Charlie and D Shap.
What are you talking about?
Somebody said, "What am I listening to?" That you knew. It's cool, man.
Hey, look, it's okay. It's safe here.
Safe.
It's safe here. Have a seat and have a snack, man. It's all good.
Wait till Show Dog come in the building.
Hey, Will. they will slowly but surely get acclimated to how we do things around here. We have a collective 400 people watching concurrently, 200 on each side. Look like, appreciate y'all. Live streams will be exclusively on the volume starting in May. So hey, y'all just slowly make your way to the volume side. And we'll be good to go. Will Still, you ready to run this mock draft?
Oh, let's do it. Hey.
Let's boogie. Phone lines gone. They shut down. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all to pieces. But let's take a look at this mock, y'all. So we'll start 1 through 16, then we'll go 17 through 32. So mind you, let me pause my music too before I say this. Mind you, every mock draft ever is nonsense. All of them. They're all terrible. Voch only does one for a reason, you know? I feel like it's a waste of time to okay, I'm gonna do 10 mock drafts. Because if you do 10 mock drafts, you post them on social media, that's gonna be 10 different times somebody gonna say that your mock draft is inaccurate. So I try to have a little fun with mine. I try to do a little something different with mine. I don't want to just, comply to the national narrative. Because to be fair, everybody's mock draft is as shitty as mine. But y'all love mock drafts, so we're gonna run some mock drafts. My thoughts behind a lot of these picks were, I wonder how would these teams pick in real life. So this ain't Voch necessarily picking. If this was and I'm kind of being phony too, because sometimes it's Voch picking, sometimes it's the team picking. So whatever. But you do have to account for teams doing dumb shit. That's the one thing that's weird, man. I was on social media, and Alex, the Eagles fan, will be in my chat box, right? And he'll be like, "Why would we take this player?" Man, the Eagles do a lot of dumb shit I can't explain, but they do. There was some Seahawks. It was like, why would you take Matt Corral? Shouts out to Brum, shouts out to Paul. I heard them talking. It was like, I don't see Matt Corral going ninth. Seahawks do a lot of shit in the first round that doesn't make sense. So how come for mock drafts you just expect your team to draft perfectly? If you're a Raiders fan in a mock draft, how do you expect your team to draft perfectly when they don't in real life? So as I was putting my mock together, it's a combination of what I feel, ignoring national media, having a little bit of fun, and accounting for the idea that teams suck at drafting, and most mocks are stupid anyway. All right. So Ikeem McQuonu's number one because he's the best player in the draft, in my opinion. I put him number one. I actually shouted out my guy, shouts out to my guy Dalton from UCF Jaguar on YouTube. He's a Jaguars content creator. I was just talking to him, man. I was asking, I said, hey man, if y'all end up with Walker at number one overall, you're gonna be pissed. He said, yep. I asked some other Jags fans. I said, hey man, if y'all get Travon Walker number one, you're gonna be pissed off, huh? Yep. So I'm not bugging for thinking that Travon Walker should be the number one overall pick. I don't think he should be top 10, but whatever. That's whatever. Ikeem McQuonu's number one. Aiden Hutchinson, sure. I think they can go here. They can go quarterback if they like. If they want to go O-line, sure. Aiden Hutchinson, number two. It's funny when y'all do like the PFF mock drafts or whatever, and they be like, this team needs, and every team will have like 3 positions or whatever. When y'all do like Texas mock, that shit say every position. They need all things. And I thought that was hilarious. So if you're in this situation, I don't know, just who would the Texans think is the best player on the team? I think they'll take Kayvon Thibodeau. Makes sense to me. Let's jump around for a second and look at both of the Jets picks. Will Still. I don't think this will happen. But I saw Jets fans.
They loved it.
Some Jets fans loved it. I saw some Jets fans give me lip and back talk that they ended up with Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley. Now, mind you, when I do these mock drafts, I think I give it a little more attention than some of the national guys. I went to Our Lads, right? Our Lads is a website where you can look up depth charts and shit. The Jets currently have 2 fifth-round picks playing corner. I don't know who those gentlemen are. I don't know how well they played. But those 2 corners ain't as good as Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley. If you need 2 corners and Sauce and Derek Stingley are there for you, I think I did you a favor. I think I held you down royally.
I agree.
I actually thought about doubling up offensive line for the Giants because I was like, man, how dope would that? How quickly would that help the Giants if they got like Evan Neal and Charles Cross? Like if they got both of them, That'll be tremendous help for the Giants. But what I ended up doing was I went with Evan Neal, which is a good pick, and then I felt like the Giants to do some silly shit, like take Kyle Hamilton in the 7th because Giants do silly shit. So we did that. Malik Willis to the Panthers at 6. Fine, cool, whatever. I took Matt Corral 9th to the Seahawks. Would Voch do that? No, Voch is a fan of building the house. So if the Seahawks lose Russell Wilson, I'm not going to take this as an opportunity to just draft a quarterback. I want to make sure the rest of the house is fine. So then when it's time to get quarterback, we can, go boogie. So Voch probably would have drafted the offensive line here. But I just can't assume that the Seahawks going to do righteous shit in the draft. I gave him Matt Corral. Who cares? We get to the Washington football team. Devin Lloyd's there. I know they just got Jamin Davis last year. They play two different types of running backs. Two different types of linebackers. I do that all the time. I always call linebackers running backs. Devin Lloyd and Jamin Davis play two different types of running. I did it again. Linebacker. I did this shit again. I think Devin Lloyd's a better linebacker than Jamin Davis. And to be fair, this is what pissed me off about Washington fans too. Voch, why would we draft linebacker 2 years in a row when y'all just drafted D-line 6 years in a row? Don't tell me what the hell y'all won't do. Now, do I think Devin Lloyd should go 11th overall? Nah. Do I think he's the best linebacker in the draft? Nope. Why did Washington do it? Washington do stupid shit all the time. Karlaftis to the Vikings. I think that the Vikings are actually a good drafting team. So we'll give them Karlaftis. Drake London ends up going to the Houston Texans, which is a good pick, but he's the first receiver off the board. Do I think that Drake London is the best receiver on the board? Nope. I just think that the Texans are the type of organization that'll disagree with me about the best receiver on the board. It's a mock draft. Who cares? But if Charles Cross makes it to 14, that makes sense. Now, this is something I want to ask you about, Will Still. Put yourself on the screen for a second. Let me ask you a question. I see a lot of Eagles fans, right? They'll hear Cowboys Jordan Davis discussion, right? And they'll be like, oh, or just anybody will say this. Oh, well, Jordan Davis wouldn't make it past the Eagles because XYZ. I actually have a theory on that, right? And there's an Eagles fan in the chat box somewhere, I'm sure. I would love to ask him about this. Alex, for sure. So the Eagles have two defensive tackles. Cox, and they got Hargrave.
And they drafted a cat last year from
Milton Williams, Wilson, whatever, Milton Williams, whatever. Yep. In my mind, I don't think that Fletcher Cox leaving is the reason you get Jordan Davis, because Fletcher would be more of the 3 guy and Hargrave would be more of the 1-tech guy. So in my mind, Hargrave just got paid to be 1-tech guy, I believe. So I don't think Eagles looking for 1-tech. I think if they go D-line, I think they'll be looking for a 3-tech as opposed to a 1-tech because they just paid for 1-tech guy. Now, mind you, I love Jordan Davis so much that having Hargrave doesn't stop you from having Jordan Davis. But we talking about the Eagles. We may just be talking about, not drafting redundancies. They're not similar players, I wouldn't think. I think, I don't know. We'll cross that road later. I don't think they're too similar that you wouldn't draft them. But I just think the Eagles have other needs like, corner and shit, you know what I mean? Like, or like linebacker or something like that. I think the Eagles will go in a different direction. So if you're a Cowboys fan that's worried about the Eagles drafting Jordan Davis because Fletcher Cox is leaving, I think you should be more so worried about Devontae Wyatt than that. Alex, the Eagles fan, I would love to for you to give us some feedback on that thought. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But yeah, that's just what I thought. So let's
Alex,
get that.
Hold on. Alex said Hargrave is a 3. I think Hargrave is more of a 3 as well, but they don't really have that hoss at 1-tech. I don't think that they really care though, because when they drafted Milton Williams is not that big body hoss either. Fletcher Cox can slide over at this stage in his career, this age, and play that 1-tech-ish spot per se, right? But no, that's a great point that you bring up. Wyatt would be more of the guy to slide in when Cox leaves to be that 3-tech, hoss. So that's a great point. Never thought of it that way.
Alex says, "I'll call in if you want, man. We want to hear from you, man. I want to hear from you, Dog. Appreciate you." He says Hargrave is a 3-tech, really too. Sure, it's just that every time I seen Hargrave, he was an A gap beating the shit out of somebody. You know what I mean? But
also said he's in his last year of his deal. That's it.
Oh, that's
Well,
also
Wyatt. I mean, that's why this Wyatt pick makes sense.
Sure.
I think
It makes
Davis or
more sense.
Wyatt here, but Wyatt really makes a lot more sense listening to you say that.
Sure. And something else that Cowboy fans want to, hedge a bet on is that we want teams to overthink this whole can they pass rush thing. We know Wyatt can pass rush, and teams may not look at Jordan as a pass rusher. We want teams to really want Wyatt more than Davis. So Davis,
Cool. Don't look at him as a pass rusher, please.
Jordan Davis, his knees hurt. Some new shit. He can't pass. Whatever you need.
He's knock-kneed, bro.
He's knock-kneed.
Pigeon-toed.
Big Willie. He's knock-kneed. I skipped all over Jermaine Johnson. That's just what I think about him. My bad. The Falcons draft Jermaine Johnson at 8. I don't think Voch would do it.
Well, listen, Voch. I'm
Go ahead.
hearing, this is smokescreen season. It's the week of the draft, but
Sure.
we've been hearing that Jermaine Johnson could go top 5.
That's crazy to me. That's madness to me.
That's wild.
And look, it's crazy because every time I say anything relatively negative about Jermaine Johnson, people just keep adding that to that Voch hates Jermaine Johnson portfolio. I think he's a good player. Top 5 is madness. I was on Jay Tuck's show last week, and Jay Tuck is a Florida State fan and Jermaine Johnson truther. I was like, Tuck, is Jermaine Johnson a top 5 pick? He was like, nah, he's not top 5 pick. So, bruh. That is crazy, Will, still. But I forgot. I skipped all over it. We was about to go to the next slide and not say nothing about Jermaine. Yeah, Falcons take Jermaine. Falcons do shit like this all the time. So yeah, Jermaine Johnson. Whatever. And one of my Falcons correspondents, shouts out to Dan. He's on Twitch now. He's like gaming with Lieutenant Dan. Shouts out to him. He's one of my Falcons correspondents. He said he hates it, but he hates all the shit that comes with Falcons mock. So whether it be Thibodeau, he hate that too. Jermaine Johnson, he hate that shit too. So
to be fair, don't they need everything too? Just about
everything. To be fair, if the Falcons take a quarterback, you wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked. Garrett Wilson, my wide receiver number 1. He came off the board after Drake London. Why? Shit happens in the draft. But he goes to the Saints. Hey, why not? Michael Thomas is there. We don't know how happy Michael Thomas was. Sean Payton is gone. We don't know what that's going to turn into. The whole Michael Thomas injured for a whole year last year thing got kind of weird. We don't know what's going to go on. So, hey, Saints get Garrett Wilson. Move on with your life. So
here we are, 16 picks in, and Jordan Davis is still on the board, Voch.
Whoa, hey, what a scenario this is. Why don't you roll that beautiful bean footage, Will, still? Show him the second part of this shit and let him know. I'm not going to skip to go find Jordan Davis. I'm just going to assume Jordan Davis ain't on this line neither, but we're just going to keep on looking here. Trent McDuffie, cornerback, went to the Chargers. It's a lot of reasons anybody could go to the Chargers. I think Chargers have truly put themselves in position to take the best player available.
Oh man,
they covered a lot of bases on this. They covered a lot of bases in the offseason, man. I gave McDuffie. I think highly of McDuffie. Hey man, take a corner, just and add to all that goodness that y'all doing over there. Could it be offensive line? Could it be D line? Could it be whatever? It could be any of those things. The Chargers are just stacking on top. Look, I'm not hindsight be ungrateful by my offseason guy, but if I can look at another offseason and be like, damn, that's a nice offseason. I think the Chargers really put it together well over here.
Hey, every year I have an opposing team, usually in the opposite conference that I want to watch closely and
Sure.
see because they look exciting. This year it's the Chargers for me. I'm going to watch their games because they're going to be an exciting team on both sides of the ball.
They add value to themselves in the free agency and they keep their first round pick. So they get so whatever first round pick they got stacks on top of the other work that they've done. Bravo to the Chargers. Arnold Ibikiti from Penn State. I like him. There are some other guys that I trust that really like him. John Owning has him higher than Jermaine Johnson. I love that. All kind of Jermaine Johnson slander. Voch love that because Voch hates Jermaine Johnson. I know some Eagles fans hate it, but Eagles do shit. Eagles do shit like this all the time, dog.
Alex, I would have gave him Dean. I would have gave him Dean here.
Nakobe Dean?
Yeah, I don't know their draft profile. I don't know what they like in linebackers. I just know they need one. But Alex, does that make sense here?
that's way but see, we'll still watch this though. This pick ain't about whether it makes sense or not. You know what I mean? This pick is, I think the Eagles do a lot of dumb shit, and I think the more picks they have, the more likely they are to do shit that doesn't make sense to me. I think N'Kobe Dean, if N'Kobe Dean went to the Eagles, I'm sick. I got a drop for that. Hold on, I got a drop for when bad shit happens. Where's my drop? What's my
But brother, they got 2 opportunities to make you sick, and I'm afraid that one of them is going to be a hit.
Hold on. I'm gonna be mad as hell.
He said, "Oh no."
I'm gonna be mad as hell if N'Kobe Dean go to the Eagles. If they get Devontae Wyatt and N'Kobe Dean I'm gonna be sick. But they go Arnold Abidiki. Yes, fine, whatever. Do you think, player? Bernard Ryman to the Saints. I don't even know why I did this.
Well, they did lose Armstead, so
sure. It makes sense. It makes sense. We were out of tackles, and looking back at it, and I think that was my reasoning also. But I just don't like Bernard Raymond that much. Just seeing him right here, But hey, if you take him ahead of the Cowboys, yes. Kenny Pickett to Pittsburgh. I don't think that Mitch is going to be enough to keep people from, to keep them from drafting somebody. I think Mitch is going to be their bridge guy that they hope can continue to develop and maybe take a spot. And they'll just draft quarterback here. I'm sure there's a Pittsburgh fan that has faith in Mitch or something. Oh, but Voch, they're going to not do that. Yeah, whatever.
Think about that pick, though. They would love – well, I don't know how Pittsburgh fans like Kenny Pickett, but he's Pittsburgh to Pittsburgh. I feel like he'd get a lot of fanfare.
Well, still, let me tell you how corny I am. I had no clue. I didn't even make the correlation. of Pittsburgh. Look, I was just up here like, they need a quarterback. Kenny Pickett's here.
His mama be happy.
I think they'll like Kenny Pickett, but the Pittsburgh to Pittsburgh marketing, it makes sense. There you go, Pittsburgh. Keep it in the family. He ain't got to move far. Daxton Hill.
I like this fit here, bro.
I like this bitch a little too much too, though. You know what I mean? Like, I was just kind of like, look, when I was making this pick, I was all like, the Patriots not gonna do what we always think they're gonna do. You know how we just have this feel that the Patriots always take these under the radar players that play
unorthodox guys,
unorthodox dudes that play multiple positions. That you look at it and go, oh, they're not the best guy, but they end up being the best guy. Later on down the line or whatever. Kyle Van Noy was definitely one of them dudes. I think Dax Hill to New England makes a ton of sense.
Gosh, this is a quintessential Bill Belichick pick.
Plus, I don't think it's for sure. I don't think it's unrealistic that Daxton Hill makes it here. I don't think it's unrealistic at all. I think he'll go. I think he'll be a first round guy. I like Daxton Hill, and just what I've been hearing from different national guys, I think teams love Daxton Hill also. So, hey man, I just kind of did it because it made a little bit of sense. But the more I look at it, that's a hell of a pick, bro. Hell of a little pick from the Patriots, though. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna continue. Jameson Williams somehow, boy, you get that dude in Green Bay. That's danger. That's dangerous.
Can I just have a little fun with that one?
Sure.
Could they go 2 wide receivers? 22, 28?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep. I love overkill. I
want them to do it so bad, Voch.
Will, and that's the whole thing that I was saying with Jets and Giants fans, right? Like, if you got 2 picks and you got a super deficiency, I wouldn't mind double dipping in any position in the first round. If you got 2 of them picks, bro, like, you just lost Devontae Adams. And I think the last receiver drafted by the Packers was Amari Rodgers from Clemson. He's like a slot guy or something like that. He wasn't really one of them dudes. So who's on the board right now? Jameson Williams and like Traylon Burks. If you give Aaron Rodgers, Jameson Williams, and Traylon Burks,
or Olave right there too,
or Olave, pick one. That's scary, bro. That's big scary.
That'll make him happy. For years, they haven't drafted a receiver in the first round. The only offensive guy they really took was a damn quarterback. So you mean to tell me I come out the first round, I get Jameson Williams and a Traylon Burks? I mean, yeah, all day and tomorrow. Sign me up if I'm a Packer fan.
good thing I'm not a GM because I believe in overkill. But
Facts.
if I'm the Jets, I'll give them because you like you may be saying that now. Why would the Jets take 2 corners? But you're gonna be in year 3 like nobody can throw the ball on us. Nobody can throw the ball. If you're the Giants and you were like, why would we take 2 offensive linemen here? And then Saquon just runs for
You shouldn't be complaining if you a Giant fan about taking 2 top 10 tackles, bro.
Mm-mm. And if you the damn Green Bay Packers and you lose Devontae Adams, what? And you just re-sign Aaron Rodgers for 4 more years. To be fair,
4 years,
So-
$500 million damn dollars.
man. So what would make him more happy if he's gonna be with you for the next 4 years? What would make him happy? Jameson Williams and Chris Olave or Traylon Burks? Pick the 2.
Doesn't
Whoever
matter.
your favorites are.
Doesn't matter.
Pick the 2. My word. Well, still, just a general question, and we may do this later. If the Giants pick Jameson Williams and Traylon Burks, who's the better fantasy guy?
Ooh. Daniel Jones really messes up that fantasy value right there. I'm going to say Jameson because he got the big playability.
Big play, dump off, PPR shit, short passes.
Yep.
100%. Travon Walker somehow hurt his knee and got caught with some weight at the board and had to
Let
done
me help you.
Go ahead.
Arizona lost Chandler Jones. They're looking for an athletic pass rusher. Boom, Travon Walker.
There you go, easy peasy. Hey, look, there you go, 100%. There you go. Hey, look, worse shit happens in the league. More dumb shit happens in the league, and hey, Travon Walker falls. He's an Arizona Cardinal now. There you go. Oh snap! Oh, wait a minute! Oh, you mean to tell me Jordan Davis a Cowboy? I'm not gonna hump the chair, but sir, Will Steele, if this happens in real life, sir, I don't care what happens anywhere else. And mind you, this ain't just because I'm a Cowboy fan. Like I really thought this would happen, and just in my mind, I'm just manufacturing and concocting this potion, the enzymes collaborating, and just somehow scientifically, Jordan Davis naturally falls to the Cowboys. I didn't manufacture this at all. But Will Steele, talk to us about Jordan Davis going to the Dallas Cowboys. Man.
Jordan Davis comes to the Dallas Cowboys. You're talking about a defense that improves immediately. Remind everyone at home, the Cowboys didn't lose a lot defensively. Offensively, they did, right? So you add a guy that can occupy 2 linemen up front, free Micah Parsons, LVE. Who the hell you want to put back there? LVE, EVL, it don't even matter. That frees up that backer, and you get push in the pass rush for your defensive backs. This is a winner pick right here, Voch. I give you an A+.
Oh man, Will Steele. So, who is this? Cuzzo J Lombardi says you lying. That chair getting violated 100%, sir. We going to jail. If Jordan Davis if he ends up in Dallas, I'm getting arrested. I'm going to some restaurant. I'm getting on the table and I'm taking off my shirt and I'm swinging it over my head like a helicopter. And I'm going to record it and put it out on Twitter so y'all can see the officers put me in the car. Bail me out. Have me some bail money.
Oh, wait.
And look, we said this on the short the other day, man, with me and Okoye. If you draft Jordan Davis in the first round, nothing matters in the rest of the draft.
Hey, I don't wrap it up, B. If you draft Jordan Davis, you can wrap it up.
Bro, I'm going home. Look, shouts out to the volume. I know I promised y'all 2 more shows, but I may not show up. I may not show up. Y'all gonna need to have a replacement in because I'm gonna be in jail first of all, so I'm not doing the show. But bro, like I don't need nothing else.
If you ain't there, just run Jordan Davis highlights the rest of the day.
Now, last time I was like, we need to get CeeDee Lamb on this team.
Yo, talking into existence, brother. You did it with Lamb. You did it with Lamb.
I did it with Boss Man too. I was like, hey man, let's get Boss Man on this. Now we couldn't get Boss Man and Rashawn Slater, even though we almost got Rashawn Slater. To be fair,
we could have had him.
We
went with the other All Pro.
Went with the other All Pro. Fair enough. But hey, if I can somehow will Jordan Davis or Kenyon Green to the Cowboys, Also, too, Will Still. How about this though, Will Still? We kind of touched on this, but we didn't really get into the full possibility. Then we're gonna move on to the draft. I said this on your show, but I'm saying this on mine now, Will Still. What if Jordan Davis finds a way to make it to 24, but Kenyon Green's knee injury makes him fall to 56? Oh my
I'm just pulling the plug on the rest of the draft. I'm just wrapping up. That's all. There's nothing else that needs to be done. Everything else is just an icing on top, just a cherry on top. Literally, think about it. Linebacker is the next position, right? Well, your linebackers already got a boost because you got Jordan Davis. Now you're going to draft another young guy. So, I mean, trenches. All about the trenches for me, man. That's just a beautiful combination.
Will Still, if we in the third round, we can draft Ice JJ Fish as a linebacker. I don't care. We just walked away with Jordan Davis and the Kobe team, bro.
No, you said Jordan Davis. You said Green. You said Green, to be fair.
What I said?
You said Kenyon Green.
I said Jordan Davis at 24 and Kenyon Green at 56.
Yeah.
If we get to the third round, we we draft Ice JJ Fish, I'm like, hey, I love it to death, love it. I'm feeling love that pick. It just don't matter to me, man. It don't matter to me, bro. But we gonna move on, man. We gonna move on. I ain't gonna. Boy, that'd be a hell of a pick, man. Alex Soto says, "Is this live?" What up, Alex Soto? Whew, shit. Jeez Louise, man. Boy, ain't my fate go to the Bills. I saw a Bills fan mad at this, but I don't give a Trevor Penny. and look. Just the way I just said, I don't care about your Bills pick is exactly how I feel if Jordan Davis. Look, because watch this. We doing the show for the volume, right, Will Still?
Yeah.
I want to touch on all 32 teams. This is an all 32 production. If the Cowboys draft Jordan Davis, it's going to be a while before we talk about the Bills, the Titans, and the Bucks pick. Because we're going to talk about Jordan Davis for the next 30 minutes.
You damn about those Bills, Titans, Bucks pick. You take Jordan Davis.
Hey, man, somebody gonna call. Hey, Voch, so Green Bay's second pick is on. I'm not coming on no damn Green Bay. I never had no fucking pie.
Hey, dog, but check this out. If they take Tyler Smith, I'm going right. Look, Boye Mafe, defensive end, I think he's got great get on. We're going straight to the next
Jordan Davis. Oh no, they said. Right, okay, so look back to Jordan Davis, right? So look, we got a phone call that's about to call and talk about Jordan. Fam, hey, this is Joe. I'm a Bucks fan. Hey, what's up, Joe? What you think about Jordan Davis going to the Cowboys? It's gonna be all Jordan Davis to the Cowboys, man.
All right, I'm gonna talk about Linderbaum. No. What you think about Jordan Davis who's going to embarrass Linderbaum? When we
Jordan Davis will smoke Linderbaum, sir. Just good luck to you. Hey man, we just gonna do a little prayer circle after this, man. Just after the game, Russell Wilson get his guys together. You know what I'm saying? They just like pray after the game, man. We're gonna pray after the stream, man, to get Jordan Davis up here. Whew, Josh Ford dropped 5 in the super chat. Appreciate you, Josh Ford. Thank you so much for your contribution. And I know there's somebody on the Voch side. We them boys dropped 5 and says if Kayvon Thibodeau or Kyle Hamilton falls to 12, should the Cowboys trade up? No, because Jordan Davis falling to 24. Let's wrap this mock draft up. Let's go.
Jalen Petrie. Oh wait, where you at? 27. Tyler Linderbaum.
Yeah, so Jordan Davis was the Cowboys. Yeah, Linderbaum, man, yeah, he shouldn't be falling, but there's all indications around the league. Like we've heard it from everybody that Linderbaum is falling. So this is the one time where I went away from what I would do and I went more so into what other teams would do. Linderbaum's film is high enough for me to take him in the team somewhere, but if he goes 27, fine. Do your thing and live, and just live your life. Jalen Petrie, who is a first round pick in my opinion. And I think the Green Bay Packers have a dope ass secondary already. But I think if they're missing anybody, they're missing one of these dudes that can play multiple secondary things, right? So we talk about Petrie, a guy that can do box things, a guy that can do nickel corner things. I wouldn't put him at linebacker, but he's a solid tackler. You know what I mean? So he ain't got to do that role, but he can do some of those type things. I think you take that dude and put him in Green Bay's system. I think that'll work. I like Will Still's answer a lot more. Just take 2 of these top wide receivers, just move on with your life. But in this situation, what I think Green Bay would do, I think they'll take an offensive guy and they'll take a defensive guy and they'll move on with their life. But I know there's going to be some defensive coaches at Green Bay mad that you got Jameson Williams and like Traylon Burks, but y'all can have all the rest of the picks if that's what
Right.
the first two picks are. So
You think that Green Bay care what their defensive coaches think, or what Aaron Rodgers?
for sure. Follow the investment. I do think that whatever wide receivers go to Green Bay and Kansas City, I think they're gonna have the best careers. So we're gonna do that. So we got Chris Olave going to Kansas City at 29. I don't think because Chris Olave is not a Tyreek Hill kind of guy. He's a Chris Olave kind of guy. He's more of a he's more. And I don't even want to say he like Will Fuller because he doesn't have hand problems. If Will Fuller could catch, because Will Fuller can't catch. He couldn't. Well, whatever. I don't. Is he in the league still? I don't know.
He got hurt last year. Yeah.
So cool. So take Will Fuller and give him some hands. That's Chris Olave. I think that's a fun little player to take at 29. And Kyer Elam, I think this is more just so Kansas City not drafting too well and just taking Kyer Elam right here. I like Kyer Elam. I just think he's more of a. And to be fair, this makes sense though. If Kyer Elam is a mid second round guy, and y'all not getting back on the board till the end of the second, then hey, if you got a corner, like
three cornerbacks, one ahead. So I think you can see 4 cornerbacks in this first round.
Sure, make a little sense to me. Zion Johnson to the Bengals. You can take him and put him at whatever guards you want to. If you want to take him, put him at one of these tackles. If you feel like you want to do that, fine, do your thing. Jordan Davis went to Dallas, man. I don't care. And Nakobe Dean. The reason I did this is because I will not make a mock draft that does not have Nakobe Dean as a first round player. I just refuse. I love Nakobe Dean too much. I just don't know what team. Because we get these mocks from these guys, and it's basically what they're hearing in the league. So I took that into account. So if they got Nakobe Dean as like a second round dude or something like that, I don't think a team is going to take him in the first round. That's unfortunate. But I'm different, and I think he's a top 10 player in this draft. And we got Nakobe Dean going 32 because I'd be damned if I make him a second round pick.
Check this out.
That's my mock. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Todd McShay said he thinks that Dean Linderbaum and Karlaftis will fall out the first round. I'm sorry.
Karlaftis in the second round is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Linderbaum and all three of them in the second round is crazy to me. I don't know how a team can look yourself. Hey, the big view, love it. Look at Big Willie. So yeah, there's my my yo, bro. Like the Lions really have an opportunity to put a hole in this shit. Like if them dudes fall, let me go Tank of Fun. If them dudes fall to the second round, right? I was looking at the Lions pick. The Lions got 2, 32, 34, and 66.
Whew,
And they got 97, but I'm just talking about them first 4. Bro, so if you the Lions, you can realistically walk away with Aiden Hutchinson, Kenyon Green, according to this mock, and Nakobe Dean. That's crazy. To be fair. So I don't know. There was some teams saying, well, should the Lions, they got draft capital, should they trade around and get a Deebo Samuel kind of guy? Nah, because they can get Traylon Burks if they want to. They can do whatever they want with these picks. 2, 32, 34, and 66, and 97. You can do whatever you want to do with them picks, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Lions, man. They have an opportunity to do something really good in this drafting where they are. Go ahead, Will.
Deebo's not the guy I would have did it for, but maybe a Tyreek Hill or a Devontae Adams. Those guys have proven to me over years that they can do it. Deebo got some more proving to do.
For sure, 100%, Mr. Wolf. But hey, it ain't Cowboys, so that's they big. Adrian Lindsay dropped the deuce, says every NFC team be saying we'll be if we get Jordan Davis. I love the sound drop. I'm bringing it back.
I do.
And Silas Whittle dropped 5. Appreciate you, Silas. He says, why would Boye Mafe be the pick for Buffalo? Terrible selection. I love to hear the logic behind that. And I guess that means don't say and BPA doesn't fly. So this is my whole thing, right? If you mad at my mock because I gave you Boye Mafe, who was just, I think was a good edge rusher to take right there. I don't look at the Bills as a team to where the positions that they need are important enough to get right now. I had a Bills fan tell me, well, why didn't you take running back? Well, if you want to take a running back in the first round, you can do your thing. But instead of taking a running back in the first round, what I thought would have been better for the Bills is if you wanted like a running back or like a DB or something like that, you can take that whenever you want to. I want you to get to the getting where the getting's good and just kind of take a player that just makes sense. I think the Bills have an underrated kind of like defense or whatever. So like if you have a strength, like keep that being your strength. Because at the end of the day, if you got faith in Josh Allen and Diggs and those guys doing things on offense, draft a running back in the second, third, whatever you want to do, then you can keep that consistent. Gabriel Davis is another guy that kind of ascended for you. So you ain't really got to do too much reaching on offense. So this is kind of like a Chargers pick, right? The Chargers don't need nothing necessarily neither. So just get a player, a good position value player, and just add them to your squad. So I know you got Russo last year. You even drafted another. It was another end that y'all drafted last year. But just take Boye Mafe. Just take him. He's sitting there for you. I like Boye Mafe. If you don't like Boye Mafe, then I can understand why you wouldn't like the pick. But it was Mafe, and I know people was telling me running back, but I'm not taking running back in the first round, so I gave you Mafe. If I did a whole mock draft for you, then you'll see those needs kind of get addressed later on in the draft or whatever. You probably wouldn't have a problem with it, but it's a 1 round mock. I'm not Basham. Thank you, Alex. I'm not crazy enough to do a 7 round mock.
Yeah, there's certain teams that you can say, hey, we're going to fortify our strength in this first round, and two perfect teams right there. You got the Chargers and the Bills.
Sure. So it is what it is. Plus, it's a mock. Nobody cares. So y'all probably not taking Boye Mafe in real life. You know what I mean? And look, they just got Von Miller too. So hey, y'all paid some money for Von Miller. So hey, so if you mad that you got Boye Mafe because you got Von Miller, hey, that's on you, player. That's on you. But you got Boye Mafe in the mock. There you go. Appreciate you. If you draft Boye Mafe in real life, we're gonna laugh at you. All right. So there you go. Let's get into the chat and we're gonna go home. Let's get into the chat and we're gonna go home. Will, did you have any closing remarks on the mock before we
Nah, man, it was fun.
Hey.
That's the thing I try to tell people about mock drafts. Just have fun with it, man.
Sure. The pick should have been Olave since Crowder is signed for 1 year. We have Basham and Epinesa. Okay. No running back, but deep speed at wide receiver is what Buffalo is missing. Hey, Silas, love you to pieces, man. When you do your mock, make sure you get Olave if you're there. All right. Love you to pieces though, man. And appreciate your 10 contribution. Is this the volume side? No, it's the Voch side. So you're a Voch listener. Hey, why don't you come over to the volume? All 286 of y'all that's watching on the Voch side. Live streams will be exclusive on the volume starting in May. So come on over to the volume, you know what I'm saying? So we can.
Honestly, I'm going back to your mock. My favorite thing in this mock might be Stingley Gardner. I just think that's so sick.
Come on, son. I don't know why a team's so afraid to double dip, man.
It's so sick.
Just double dip. Like, bro, you ain't got to worry about cornerback for 12 years if you just both them dudes, dog. Like, for real? Hey, man, what was that game that the Jets was losing last year and they blew it because they kept giving up deep passes?
I don't know. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't recall the actual game.
It was one of them games. Y'all should be thanking me for my generosity. You know what I mean? Anyway, and somebody said, Voch, you're setting yourself up for failure by you're setting yourself up for disappointment with Jordan Davis. Actually, no, I'm not. Jordan Davis is oh my God, the best thing that could possibly happen is happening pick. But we've talked about this before on the channel, right? There's only 3 picks I would hate. And I don't think the Cowboys doing that. But versus those 3 picks, it's about 9 picks that I'd just be super, super happy with. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be upset if we get Kenyon Green or any of these other guys or whatever. That's just that I'm just not humping the chair and getting arrested.
It's going to take the Cowboys to colossally fail in the first round. Like, and they can't mess it. They can't. Mess this first round up, bro.
It's impossible. But I'll never say never. If they do, I'm going to bed upset. But yeah, chat box, this your time, man. This your time. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box, and me and Will still will react to you and answer your questions. What are the picks I won't like? If the Cowboys take Tyler Smith, Trevor Penning, and Bernard Ryman, I'd be pretty upset because I think there will be better players on the board than them. So that's why. And if we don't get offensive line, just get one of those receivers and just move on. Like, I'll be fine with any of those receivers, man. Is Micah Parsons one of the picks you would hate? And y'all got to understand, this was also me putting my eggs in one basket as a Cowboys fan. I badly wanted Rashawn Slater, badly. And to be fair, Rashawn Slater is going to be pretty okay. He's going to be a fantastic player. And I think everybody was wrong about Parsons and Slater, except Will Steele because he's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because he's amazing and he just gets it all right.
Well, let's give him the truth here. I was cheating because Micah Parsons is from the Berg, and I kind of already was kind of high on him. Your Slater was my Parsons.
Hey man, both of us was right. I hate that too, man. And part of me wants to ignore comments, right? Because it'll be 100 good comments, but one comment will give me. It'll be like, "Yo, Voch, man, I love you, man, but I don't know if I can trust you because of what you said about Parsons last year." All right, bro.
Hey, listen, my most embarrassing one was the cat from Ole Miss, the wide receiver. I said, best wide receiver in the draft. I said top 10. Oh man, I missed embarrassingly on it.
We all miss Treadwell, man. But it happens. It happens. If you could get Jordan Davis at 24 for Dallas, but it meant every copy of Josie Wales disappeared from existence, do you pull the trigger? Clint Eastwood can go. You can take Good to Bad to Ugly. You could take Unforgiven. You could take Fistful of Dollars. You could take Gran Torino. You could take all the Clint Eastwood movies away if I can get Jordan Davis at 20. I will rip this off the wall. If Jordan Davis is a damn Cowboy. You kidding me?
Jay Jordan said, would you take a linebacker or a cornerback in the first round?
Depends on the player. If the cornerback is Stingley, I take Stingley. If it's Dean or Kyler Gordon, I'm taking Dean, So you just take the best player, especially first round. You just take the best player. Voch, what made you happy, Sedarian Lamb or Boss Man Fat? You can actually watch both those videos, by the way. CD Lamb I was so much more happier because that was a long burn. Like Boss Man Fat was more so of was an April thing. We was talking about CD Lamb since February, and like with the whole Kelvin Joseph thing, like Kelvin Joseph in the second round was a possibility. Nobody was talking about CD Lamb at 17, but.
Yeah, I learned my lesson with TJ Watt. Putting all my eggs in one basket, I stopped. And I said, never again, so I won't be disappointed if the Cowboys don't take a Jordan Davis or whomever or Parsons or Slater type shit. So that's my lesson.
Voch, you cool with the Cowboys not taking D-line at all in this draft if they not the best player available when we pick? Sure. I don't think we're pigeonholed into taking anything. And I know I'm saying Jordan Davis, but that don't mean that we got to take one take. It's just that when there's certain people on the board, when there's certain players on the board, you just can't ignore them. I'm not looking for corner necessarily, but if Stingley's there, you run to it. I'm not looking for edge, but if Karlaftis is there, you run to it. I more so want to, if there's any needs you got to fix, it's offensive line and it's guard. If it's any position you want to get better and add bodies at, it's linebacker. Everything else, you just kind of take the guy and just move on. Tight end is another spot later on you would want to fill, but there you go. Brandon Tillman says Jordan Davis will not fall to 24. Relax with that will not. Adrian Lindsay, I know, right? Adrian Lindsay dropped a deuce in the super chat, says Parsons and Slater was picking either Tyron Smith or LT. Sure.
I've heard the Tyron JJ Watt comparison. I think that's a better one right now.
That's a better one.
Let's wait. LT, one of the greatest of all time, bro.
That's Hey man, if my okay, so look, Will, let me pardon the music on this, and it's the last. This one, so Will, put yourself on the screen if you don't mind. I want to see your face, man. So Micah is who Micah is, and we always expect players in the off season to have peanut butter and come back better. I know it'll be unrealistic, and I don't even want to say that. But the only way Micah gets better is if he come back next year with 20 sacks and 6 interceptions. Is that real life, Will?
Statistically, sure. I mean, but I think that he's definitely going to be a better player mentally, which is going to probably translate to the statistics. He might not even have 13 sacks next year if they might not have to use him that much. Remember, they put him down there because D-Law missed like 10 games.
This young man got 13 sacks pass rushing sometimes.
Part-time, yeah. So think about it this way. He might not have 13 sacks, right, Voch? But what if he gets 135 tackles, 4 interceptions? You know what I'm saying? 4 forced fumbles from the linebacker position. Now he's just being as dominant there because he's playing more there. So I just think there is no limitations with this dude. It's just a matter of when will he burn out in the sense of, the 7 years, 10 years, 15 years. I think this dude is going to continue to keep climbing.
I just think it's unrealistic. And I feel like it's only that because of what he did last year, right? I think it's unrealistic to ask any defensive player to replicate that. But he was a rookie.
Rookie, right?
That had no clue what he was doing, and he rushed sometimes and got 13 sacks. What if Dan Quinn said, "Hey man, we're gonna ramp you up a little bit, give you a couple more pass rush attempts, and can you imagine?
He'd be 20 sacks, bro. If he got, I don't even think he got half the reps as TJ Watt and them boys. I don't.
No, he got like 180 rushes.
So
everybody else had like 300 or something.
Right. So if he literally got those amount of rushes, I think he's a 20 sack guy. It's just that, are they impact sacks, right? Or are they Dorrance Armstrong sacks? We all believe that there'll be impact sacks, but I just think right now he's so damn good at both that you can confuse a defense week to week by not pigeonholing him in one spot. And the Cowboys agree with that.
That's another thing too, man. It ain't just the sacks that he got, but it's when he got them. Like the sacks in the Charger game, the Patriots game.
Raiders.
Like he had a sack fumble on Pat, bro. And that was gonna turn the game. We just didn't do things on offense or whatever, but I don't want to sound like I'm gassing Mike or nothing like that, but I think that's a real conversation we got to have one day when we ain't got nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, his sacks are impactful, and I'm not trying to knock Dorrance Armstrong, but when I hear Dorrance Armstrong, Randy Gregory, I urge y'all to go watch the tape. Just please.
We're not replacing Randy with Dorrance. We're replacing Randy with Micah. Honestly, it's just we got I don't know. Whatever, dog. That is crazy. Sometimes. Armand George dropped a deuce and says One Piece, Naruto, or Demon Slayer. Damn. And Will's not anime guy.
Nope. My son is, though. He got me getting him some anime stuff.
I'm not One Piece guy because I never started One Piece, and there's 1,000 some odd episodes of One Piece, and I'm not restarting right now.
One Piece or One Punch?
One Piece. One Punch Man is different. Then there's Naruto that I think was only good for like the first 2 seasons.
Damn, I've been saying that wrong for years.
What? Naruto?
It's Naruto? I thought it was Naruto.
Same shit.
Oh, okay.
Same shit. It just depends on where you're from. And there's people that's mad that'll get mad at like how you say it, but whatever. Y'all be all right. Jordan Davis. Look, Jordan Davis went to the Cowboys. You can say whatever. You say Naruto, Naruto, whatever. I think only the first 2 seasons were good, but then everybody got too powerful. I think when Naruto was only a show about kids learning how to be ninjas, I think that's fire. When they scaled everybody power up, it got whacked. And I haven't really watched Demon Slayer, so my fault, but maybe I should watch Demon Slayer a little bit more. That's all we got. We wanted to give y'all a longer show today, because just to catch everybody up on the housekeeping, because we're not going live tomorrow. You'll get content tomorrow, but we're not going live tomorrow. This will be the last time you see Will for the week. But we're going to chill on Wednesday, get our life together. I'm going to do some last minute studying and prep and things like that. You will get some content, but it's not going to be live, like I said. But Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll be doing a live watch along where you'll get analysis. We're going to get jokes. We're going to chill. We're going to hang. It's going to be a little bit of everything. We may get some special guests or something like that. We'll cross that road when we get there. We're gonna take calls. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna enjoy the draft as fans. You know what I mean? This isn't gonna be one of them ones. This like my draft shows, like the volume isn't used to it. But if I got some Voch Lombardi listeners right now, just let the volume chat box knows that we get busy for the live draft shows, man. They're some of the best shows that we do all year. This is one of our biggies. Then camp is the next one. Then the regular season the next one. So we love y'all for being here, man. Y'all follow me on all platforms, Voch Lombardi, VOCHLOMBARDI, over on the YouTube, also social media, and twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi, where I do all non-football content, and I'm streaming Elden Ring over there right now. Make sure you hit all the volume social media pages and all those things. Also, Will Still, where can they find you, sir?
They hit me up on Twitter @Skywalker Still, and every morning 8:15 ish, A to Z Sports live. I'm on A to Z Sports Dallas on YouTube. Check me out.
There, you heard that. Go find them on A to Z Sports. You got me?
Big Willie.
All right, man. Hey, listen. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski Pizza Weezy. The show is over.
Beats Planet.